All right, I'm back at y'all, man. Let me plug the joint. Why are some men irresistible to women? Why are some men irresistible to women? On this side of the YouTube world, we hear a lot of talk about women being attracted to the bad boy. They don't really fuck with the good man. They don't like the nice guys. And what a lot of guys fail to understand, right, while people are debating about the archetypes and about the delineations of what makes this particular man that kind of man, what makes you passive, what makes you assertive, what makes you this, what makes you that. Beyond all of that, women still want sex, regardless of what we do as men, right? When we get on the internet and we talk the shit that we talk and we go back and forth with what we talk about and all that, beyond all of that, women still want sex, whether they're getting it casually or they get it in a relationship. They still want sex. Women are still sexual beings and they still crave to be touched sexually. They still crave great, enjoyable sex, regardless of what women complain about, regardless of all the bullshit being said. There's a market, there's a need that needs to be serviced. Why are some men irresistible to women? Quite frankly, they service that need. I don't care if a woman wants to be married, if she wants to have a family. At the end of the day, she is still a woman and she still gets turned on sexually by men who exude sex appeal. Are you one of them? Are you one of those guys? Why are some men irresistible to women? One of the things I like to talk about, right, that you probably don't hear from anybody else really, is appealing to a woman's feminine sensibilities. Appealing to a woman's feminine sensibilities, creating a dynamic where both parties feel valued for their unique contributions to the relationship, embracing qualities that resonate with feminine energy. Again, embracing qualities that resonate with feminine energy. Do y'all want to know one of those qualities, right, that resonate with feminine energy? Y'all want to know? Right there. Women need an outlet to express their sexuality, which is why some men are more alluring than others. One of the things I often talk about is every job I've ever had, right? Women always talk about sex. Always. Right? And the reason why is right here. Women need an outlet to express their sexuality. Why? Why? Let's talk about it. Right? Now, one of the things that I've talked about is sexual suppression, right? Sexual oppression, also known as sexual suppression, refers to the inhibition or suppression of one's natural sexual desires, thoughts, and behaviors. Why is this important? Why am I talking about this? Why am I talking about this? What guys have to understand is that there are women you will encounter who are sexually liberated, right? And let me break down what sexual liberation means. Give me a second, right? To be sexually liberated is to be free from restrictive social norms, inhibitions, and external control over one's own body and sexuality, allowing for personal choice. Why do you think we tell you guys give women free will? Back off, stop trying to control women, and give them free will, allowing for personal choice, self awareness, and the authentic expression of sexual desires and needs. Again, we're talking about sexual liberation. You may encounter women who are sexually liberated, right? You may encounter other women who show signs of not only sexual repression, but also sexual suppression. And here's the thing right here. Wait, hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back. Women need an outlet to express their sexuality. I don't care if a woman is sexually repressed or sexually suppressed. Okay. If you encounter a woman who is sexually repressed or sexually suppressed, in many cases, they're going to be depressed, right? Because their body is telling them things, but they're not listening to their bodies. Again, they have sexual repression or sexual suppression. So imagine they meet a man who allows them to express the full depths of their sexuality with no fear of judgment. Why are some men irresistible to women? This is what guys don't understand. When you're talking to women that you just met, in many cases, you being sexual gives the woman permission to also be sexual. This is this ain't hard, man. Women desire sex just as much, if not more, than men do. They do. They're just not going to be obvious about it. So when guys talk about, oh, this guy over here, women go for these guys over here, but they don't go for these guys over here. It has nothing to do with how the men look. It's not about how they look. Women will always gravitate to the most sexually appealing men first. Because this is what guys see, it's all connected. When we talk about sexual confidence, when we talk about confidence, when we talk about being assertive rather than being passive, all this is connected, right? Because you have to understand from a woman's perspective, right? This is why you can't look at attraction strictly through a man's lens. Okay, you have to also look at it through a woman's lens, which is why I talk about appealing to a woman's feminine sensibilities. Because if you're able to look at attraction and sex through a woman's lens, you can see how you can influence, right? It's kind of like being behind enemy lines, right? You're behind enemy lines. And I'm not referring to women as enemies. I'm just trying to use this point to illustrate something. When you're behind enemy lines, you see shit that they're doing that the people on the front lines don't see. You have a vantage point or a POV that other people don't see. Guys with game have a point of view that the average guy doesn't see, which is why we don't judge women, which is why we cultivate an environment for women to safely and rather enjoyably express their sexuality with no fear of judgment while being discreet. Why are some men irresistible to women? Guys, here's the thing, okay? Right there. Not being sexual could signify to women that you might be judgmental. This is what guys got to understand. Yes, we know women want to be loved, they want to be cared about, they want to be cherished by a man who cares about them immensely while they also are cherishing that man as well. We know that women want to be in loving relationships. We understand this, right? But the reality of it for a lot of women is most of the men that they encounter aren't men they would want to be in relationships with anyway, right? I need you guys to understand that. Why are some men irresistible to women? Again, I'm going to go back to the whole confidence, sexual confidence, guys being insecure. See, in order for a woman to safely, enthusiastically, and gleefully, in order for her to express her sexuality, right, with joy, it has to be with a man she feels safe and comfortable around. See, a lot of guys, they talk about making a woman comfortable. No, 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 no. You got it wrong. See, what a woman needs to be comfortable in doing is expressing her sexuality. She needs to express it, right? Guys got to understand, just like when you're at home and you have your private thoughts, or you're out and about, women you are attracted to, and you have your private thoughts, you don't think women have private thoughts? You don't think women look at a guy and look at his lips and say, damn, I would love for him to put my clit in his mouth and just suck on that shit with them big ass lips of his. You don't think women think about that? You don't think women look at a man and fantasize about what that man would be able to do to them in the bedroom? You don't think women think about these things? So when they encounter men who are supremely confident men, sexually confident men, who don't mind showing their sexual side, these women are like, oh my God, I've been dying to get some good dick. Yeah, because best believe, and I've said this about sexual frustration. See, a woman's sexual frustration and a man's sexual frustration is distinctly different, right? 9 times out of 10, when guys are sexually frustrated, it's because they're either not getting sex at all or they're having sex infrequently with women they're not attracted to sexually. And they're kind of just settling for a warm body, right? And that breeds sexual frustration too, because these guys aren't having sex with women they actually really desire. Now, when a woman is sexually frustrated, see, women can get sex. Dick is a dime a dozen. Dick, a woman can go outside and get off of some dick. Women. What is an issue for women is being offered great dick, consistent great dick from a man who allows them to express their sexuality. I need guys to understand that. Why are some men irresistible to women? Quite frankly, they turn a woman on sexually. Not only that, when women are in the presence of these men, these women feel like women, right? In order for a woman to feel like a woman, what must happen? She must feel feminine. What makes her feel feminine? A dominant, assertive, transparent, masculine man who knows how to talk to a woman. Why are some men irresistible to women? Masculine sex appeal will always draw women. And when that man has masculine sex appeal and he has game and he has a mouthpiece and he exudes big dick energy, women are like, this is what I need right here. Why are some men irresistible to women? Guys, when you're not being sexual enough, that could signify to women that you might be judgmental. And if a woman thinks you're judgmental, guess what she will not do? Have sex with you. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.